What's up, everyone? I'm Stephen here with Tiny House Listings, and I'm out here in my off-grid property in eastern North Carolina. I've been out here for about 10 days now. I guess kind of doing a self-quarantine in lieu of all the crazy stuff that's going on around the world, specifically the coronavirus. And a little nervous about the whole situation, but I'm hearing it's like conflicting stories. You hear some good news on one end, like it's going to go, things are not going to be as bad as they thought. Then you hear like, apocalyptic news on the other hand. So I'm not sure what to believe. I'm kind of just trying to stay busy out here, working on quite a few projects that I've been filming to show you guys, with the goal of showing how important it is, or how necessary, or how just good overall it is to be prepared in some ways, in some situations, whether or not you're afraid to about getting the coronavirus. But the economic fallout can be a bit scary. I have a brother who is stationed in Germany, and him and his entire family actually contracted the coronavirus. And so it's definitely not pretty, definitely not a pretty sight to see a family member. And if given the numbers that I've seen, there's a good chance that we'll know someone, if you don't already, that actually has contracted the coronavirus here in the United States or elsewhere, depending on where you're watching. It seems like it's highly contagious and things like that. But I didn't want to talk specifically about the coronavirus. I just kind of wanted to show you some of the things that I've been working on around here just really quickly. And also just kind of go over, how my insight on what I think like living in a tiny house can do for you from a preparedness perspective and also a financial perspective. So I'll hop into that later. So for now, I'm just going to go through and show you some of the little projects I've been working on. A few weeks ago, maybe a month or even longer ago, I did a video showing this whole entire place that I built out here for myself is completely off-grid, and I got a lot of really, really positive comments and feedback, so I was really happy about that. But one of the things people didn't quite understand was how the water system works in the shower area, so I'll show you that real quick. The way it works is it's very, very small. As you can see, very small roof. It's only about 4 feet wide by, I want to say, 10 feet long. And but it all drains off the roof into this makeshift gutter. Then it comes down here and then just kind of drains into here, assuming that it's not a really fast flow. Every bit of that will come into here, go down this 55-gallon bucket, and then this water hose here, which is going in, will actually, once the pump sense it drops in pressure, it'll kick in, and that's powered by this battery. And the battery is charged by the solar panel, which has a, see if you can see back there, small charge controller on the back. Really, really small setup. Really, really simple and rudimentary. So I'll show you how that works on the inside. Oh, and this is where the water, this PVC pipe, if you can see here, just drains down into this natural ditch that's kind of over here. And it hasn't been a problem at all yet. And the water pump on, you click that and you can hear it kind of kick in. And then here is just a small salad bowl, actually, that I turned into a sink. You can hear the on-demand hot water heater kick in once you turn on the hot water. Shower, just a small RV style shower to control the pressure. And then the water actually goes onto the ground here, just kind of seeps out and again trickles down that ditch that you saw earlier. So this bathhouse slash shower house that I built out here last summer has really been a nice addition to this little off-grid homestead. Through and built quite a few shelves for food storage and things like that. I've actually went out and bought 6 months of supplies just in case things were to get really bad. As you can see here, I added a shelf above the kitchen area for things that I get a lot. I'm going to add more staples, food like flour and sugar and things like that up there. Then I went through and built another one up here, a lot of snacks for my daughter. A lot of goodies and things like that. Built another shelf there, and I've been adding more shelves in places where it really isn't that big of a deal, like with this little guy right here, where it's kind of out of the way. But in an 8x10 building, you're going to need a lot of storage places, hopefully out of the way, because it can get pretty small, as you can imagine. Earlier this year, or it was at the very beginning of last year, we announced that Tiny House Listings will begin starting to build extremely affordable tiny houses, 24-footers, and we also started doing 28-footers starting at $32,500. And I'm actually having one built for myself. I'm doing one for myself, and I'm going to move that out here to live in for the foreseeable future, just to kind of stay away from large gatherings and things like that. Have plenty of necessities out here and lots of preps to where it really isn't an issue. Have satellite internet, water, solar, all of that. So I'm just going to stay out here for the time being. And we've actually seen quite an uptick in these things that we're building for people. Quite a few orders. So those are kind of those are already starting to begin completion. So if you're interested, send us an email at support@tinyhouselistings.com and we can give you a quote on building one of those for you. Again, extremely affordable. We can send you pictures, details, and all that stuff as well. Outdoor kitchen out here, I actually went through and painted the entire IBC tote black, and this is to prevent algae and things like that. I actually shot a whole entire video on this, and that'll be coming out in the next few days, explaining a little bit about rainwater collection systems, some good ideas and best practices, and also legality depending on where you live. So definitely watch out for that. Went through and added a kitchen sink to wash dishes out here, and the way it currently works, I think I'm going to change it, but it just drains from here into a hole over there that you can maybe see, perhaps see. And that just drains into there, and it's full of lava rocks, and then it kind of penetrates. Might end up doing that a little bit farther away from the area. We're just going to wait and see how that comes once the warmer weather comes, and see if we get bugs and things like that. Hopefully we don't, but definitely open to changing that setup as well. And I got this little sink from Habitat for Humanity for like 15 bucks, so kind of a no-brainer out here. Some seedlings. These are going to be spinach, cucumbers, banana peppers, tomatoes, all those things, watermelon, all of that. And so as you can see, some of these are already starting to pop up. And over here last year, and I'm going to go through this in another video, I had to chop down quite a few trees for solar, and a lot of these just weren't doing well. These trees were unhealthy. So I'm going to go through and process all of these and hopefully use some of this wood if possible. But either way, this is going to get cleared out. I'm going to be building some raised bed gardens, and I've also made the decision to build a really unique greenhouse. The whole entire floor will be about a foot thick of clay, and there's plenty of clay out here, and the reason to that is for passive solar, so it'll slowly release the heat overnight to keep things warm. So that'll be a really cool video, probably a multi-part video. Got wild jasmine growing out here, beautiful. Once it starts to release some fragrance, it's beautiful. I'll take a vase and fill it up and put it inside the cabin. Door kitchen, the entire roof was built very simply and affordably. You can tell I use a lot of timbers here from the woods, and you'll hear there's a lot of creaking here, and the reason that is you see these are built, each of the posts, or 3 of the posts with the exception of this one over here, was built onto the tree. So I had to do a sliding system to where it goes back and forth as the trees rock from the wind. So there's kind of like just like a floating system on this end and this end as well. Process of building a solar array. There'll be about 4 of these 150 watt panels. So the entire cabin, the only thing that really runs out here is a small fridge, lights, powering up our small devices and things like that. So this 600 watt array should do nicely, and if it doesn't, on the days where it's cloudy, we just crank up the generator for an hour or so and top everything off. So it's really not a problem. So if you're one of those people who you believe you need to be more prepared for situations like we're currently in, or just overall in general, knowing that the world is a very unpredictable place, you should maybe look into buying yourself a cheap piece of land, you and maybe even several family members, multi-generational home, something like that, and start preparing for yourself. I believe real estate's going to start going down in price, and put a tiny house on there, put a little cabin, put something out there, prepare for you and your family just to kind of get away. I'm hearing some pretty sad numbers on the media of projections and things like that. Hopefully it's not true, but if it is, I know for me and my family, we're going to be just fine out here for the foreseeable future, and continue to work, continue to operate tiny house listings just as we are, continue to build tiny houses for people, the crew over on the other side of North Carolina. So it's going to be great. If you're interested in purchasing a tiny house, again, email us at support@tinyhouselistings.com. or send us a private message here through YouTube. We're glad to talk to you about that. But I just hope each and every one of you realize that nothing's for sure. Like the status quo of the way you live on any given day, you get to walk in, grab food, all that. Like a lot of that, as we're seeing, is quite frail, right? Like, it could, a lot of these systems from what I've seen, started to go down economically. Like these things are in place, like easy credit, easy groceries, all these things, living a really good first world country lifestyle that can quickly be taken from you just with a couple things that happen in unison. So I just hope each of you watching, maybe at least to some degree, make yourself more prepared. Not trying to preach, but definitely am glad that I have this place out here. I feel very fortunate, and I hope that for each and every one of you. We're going to do a couple more videos, quite a few more videos now that I'm out here and I have more time to spend out here with the ideas of things that I've been wanting to put together. So if this is your first time watching a video on this channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment below if you have questions or ideas to help make yourself more prepared. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video.